Good evening.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our wellness talk with our Dr. Julia. We have run and rushed and worked hard this past few weeks that we actually missed last week's wellness talk, and I missed it. So I'm very happy and honored and glad that we can be here tonight and again have our weekly chat.
Yes.
So this week we are going to talk about rejection. This whole month and last month we spoke about liver health and why it's important to look after your liver and what your liver does and how important the liver is in the body and how the liver is linked to anger in the body. So today we are going to speak about rejection because rejection also links closely to the liver.
Yes.
And Dr. Julia works a lot with rejection when she does her bioresonance homeopathy. I will tell you, I work a lot in the bars with anger and anxiety and fear. I work a lot on that. But the clients and the patients who come to you, when they come to me for their bars, they tell me, Dr. Julia worked on this, and a lot of rejection has come up the last few times. And even with me, I have experienced rejection in the last week or so. And it's really interesting how every day in our lives we all learn. Doesn't matter how smart we think we are or how great we think we are. I have actually this week come to the awareness that as long as we are here on the planet, we will learn. And what has been very profound for me this week that has passed is to be in allowance and to sit. Just sit with your emotion. Just sit with it and be with that emotion and just feel it to truly heal it. So I've got some crypt notes here today. Can you believe it? Because I am busy with my second book. I am now at chapter 2.
Wow. And I know what it's about, yes?
This week I started with it, and this book is going to be different because of our wellness talks. I take a word and then I look it up in the dictionary and then I see what it means and then I process on that. So for the last few wellness talks, I have looked at the word, gone into the dictionary and then posted on our Facebook, because for me it's important to understand the word cognitively and academically, and then I let my emotion go into it. So I'm going to read to the viewers today what the dictionary says about rejection. And let me tell you, this is a very deep emotion. You and I are going to talk about rejection now, but I will tell you, this is a big one.
I would tell you, it's very different emotions.
It's a big
so
one.
many different rejection, and you can still think it's one rejection. No, different colors, different flavors, and everything. Yes.
Rejection is the dismissing or refusing of a person, a proposal, or an idea. That's the one thing the dictionary says. The other thing the dictionary says about rejection is the action of spurning a person's affections. To reject means to refuse. To reject means an instance of a person or entity pushing someone away or out. The opposite of reject is to accept. To reject, very interesting. Yes, especially you that's Russian. It's very good that I explain it to you in English. To reject is to resist and then to react. To accept is to align and to agree. So rejection and acceptance is both painful. Because if you reject, you resist and you react. If you accept something, you align and you agree. And that also puts you on some kind of a line. So what we need to look at is the gift or the state of allowance. So as I was working this week on rejection, and we're going to go and talk about it now, I found this piece on Facebook that I've posted on the Cormadam wall. I've just posted it before we started, and I'm going to read it to you because this is so powerful. And
It's good because I don't watch Facebook.
Yes,
At least I can hear.
So I want to read it to Dr. Julia also, because when Dr. Julia walks into the practice on a Thursday, she says to me, "What are we talking about today?" And she has no time to prepare. So I want to read this to you. All of my energy is allocated. I do not have time, energy, or desire to make anyone like me. My concern is not the outdated, exaggerated, or altered image of me that you created in my mind. My priority is to love, protect, and preserve all that I am, so that I can fulfill all that I was created to do. So excuse me as I embrace the power that is within me and encourage others to do the same. Because reaching this level of self-love was no easy walk, but every step was worth it. And it was posted by a person called Morgan Richard Oliver. How's that?
Yes, it's
How's
very
that?
deep.
Yes, it's very deep, and it's very very nice to read it. But rejection is extremely painful. And when you and I spoke about rejection briefly the last time, you said something that made me think. You said, "But Aldi, we reject things all the time. No, I don't want that drink," or "No, I don't want that food," or "No, I don't want to buy that car," or "No, I don't want to put that pants today, I want to put that pants." Rejection is part of life. You will reject things.
Yes.
And I reject things all the time. We reject things. But when it happens to us and it hits a deep nerve, it really hits home.
If it resonates with certain pain in your life, if it does not resonate, rejection will never hurt you.
Okay, so now tell us
Yes.
what you think about rejection, because you and I are very different.
Yes, we are very different, but I would tell you first when I work with rejection from childhood, I see I have certain frequencies in my device, and I can see when person was rejected by his parents.
In the womb already?
In the womb,
rejection?
In the womb, during the pregnancy, they did not plan, they did not want, it was not right time, it was not right man, not right woman, or it was difficult pregnancies, or it was family problems, or after when child came already after labor, parents also rejected because of difficult money, they did not build right relationship between parents. That's why actually it's a lot of, you can't imagine, I would tell you it's like 30, 50, 40% of my clients, they were rejected by their parents.
In the womb already?
In the womb already, but also during childhood as well. Yes, and you can see by his siblings or some other situations, friends, they were rejected. You can see, but parents usually, it is the first close people to you, and a lot of parents, and sometimes subconsciously, not consciously, they rejected their own kids. As I want to talk about future parents and current parents, please be careful what you think when you carry the baby, what you are with baby. Babies, you don't need to tell him that you don't like him or it's not right sex. Somebody expecting boy, girl, and it was. Yeah, you don't need, because you hurt him, and this child will keep rejection inside his liver, inside his mind. And as I see, this child will attract more and more people who will reject him in a certain situation, at work, in marriage, in a certain other situation. That is why you give him this I don't know, it's also like a frequencies. Do you know that when you put something on a slave, how you call it? Yes, like
Chains.
yeah. No, not like you put it burned. That,
Oh,
you know,
yes, the
symbol,
mark.
mark,
Yes,
mark.
your mark, yes.
You will give this energetic mark to your child, and child will have a difficult life in the future because now he will accept. He will invite these people who will reject him without any reasons or yes.
Okay, so because I am not afraid to be vulnerable, let's do it. So in my book, the first book, When the Fairy Tale Shatters, I write the story that my mother wanted to become a nun. And then she met my father at the youth church activity. And he was spinning someone else's car out of the mud. And he was doing such a good job that she fell in love with him there and then. And then they had this whirlwind romance and they got married, but she went to her doctor and she said to her doctor, I never want to have children. I don't want children. So the doctor gave her a copper T, you know, an IUD, and she was very happy she's not going to have any children. And my parents were married 3 months and my mother fell pregnant with me. I tell the story in my book. So 1 March they got married. And 20 March the next year, I was born. But when she found out she was pregnant, she was devastated. And she had a very difficult pregnancy with me. She was constantly sick, and you know, the toxoplasmosis came in the womb. So now when you said this today, I understand why I, till today, take rejection so bad.
So bad.
Okay,
Yes.
so now what can we do? Because I've done a lot of work, you know. I've done a lot of work on myself
Like
in the womb.
for example, my parents, they planned me. They
Yeah.
really love me in this
Okay.
way.
They wanted
and
you.
they wanted me and they planned me. And I was right sex, girl. They wanted girl. They chose a name. Especially father wanted. And actually, I would tell you, I never deal really with rejection.
Yeah, I know.
So I deal with my other stuff,
Yes.
but not with rejection.
Yes. So look at this.
You-
So
yes.
now, Dr. Julia, I want to say a few things to the viewers today. First of all, I'm not telling this story to shame my mother. It's fine. But she was young and she didn't know better and she didn't want
Yes,
children.
yes,
So now there's parents watching the program going, oh, I didn't want my child, or I wanted a
But
boy
now I'm
and
so
now it's a
happy
girl.
you got
So
it.
now I feel as a parent guilt because I had now realized, listening to Aldi and Dr. Julia, that I've given my child rejection in the womb. So what are we saying today? We are saying if you don't have children yet, please learn from this video today and be mindful not to reject the baby. If the pregnancy is early, get your brain right immediately and know that that rejection will go into the womb. That's number
Yes.
one. Number two, what now, Dr. Julia, if it has happened, like it's happened to me, and I have been rejected in the womb, how can you help me?
Yeah, you see, we have certain techniques like bioresonance. You use your access bar. We can go to that trauma and cancel that trauma, releasing this trauma. We can do it. I don't think that maybe psychology, certain psychological techniques also can do it, but just to talk and understand, I would not tell you. Child will not understand it, for example. You can always bring child and actually you can check if child resonate with this rejection energy. Because I will tell you, some kids, they are very easy about that. Some of them, they're easy. And parents think, yes, I did it hurt. And it's not actually, they don't react for that. Bring child, we'll see, we'll test you, we'll treat you. It's only one way when we can help you.
Yeah. Well, again, let's take my life for an example. Let's take Marcus. Marcus is a very interesting child. You know, when he was small, they told me he was autistic. I and Marcus's father have always loved him a lot and embraced his uniqueness. But you will get parents that will maybe say, my child has autism, I don't want that for my child, and they will reject the autism. Or a child can be born and a child can be retarded or deformed, or maybe your child is just born with one hand. So that, as a parent, you will go, oh, I can't believe that I don't have a normal child or a normal baby. And please, it is okay for you
Yes.
to go through there, but that is rejection. So what we need to do is we need to be mindful and in awareness of that rejection, and then get the help for the parents and for that child. Because as sooner we can pull the rejection and release the rejection, the easier it will be for that child to not grow up as an adult and struggle with the pain of rejection. Because rejection is part of life. It's just interesting to know how Dr. Julia, she takes it completely different than me. I take rejection very personally. But now
We are going to talk about that.
I understand.
Yes. And actually that people which were rejected before in childhood in a certain way, of course, they take it very personally. When other people, when you're adult, they do some other people doing, and you think they rejected you because they do something different. But it's already problems with the inner self-esteem, self-confidence, with your self-belief system. This is already other. It's your perception, how you see world around you. This man rejected me because I'm bad, I don't know, lover, bad girlfriend and everything. But actually he rejected because he just does not like you. You don't resonate in a certain level, but you took it so personally and put it in rejecting pedestal.
Okay.
Yes, and now you really feel what's wrong with me. If you feel like I am who I am, I love who I am, I respect what I do, rejection will never touch you. Will never. You will always tell, it's fine, we're different. It is their choice, it is their opinion, we're just different. When people reject my medicine because I'm medical doctor and I move to holistic, my colleagues, my friends, they stop to talk to me. I think, perfect, it's their problems. It never bothered me because I love what I do, but I don't have rejection problems. Other doctors and other specialists would which turn, or like you and everything, you see, it could be really hurtful inside. What I did wrong? Why people do it? No, it's nothing wrong. Everybody has his own opinion. They didn't do it personally.
Yes, what I have learned is it's fine if people reject what you do, who you are, what you believe you stand for. You don't have to allow them in your life.
Yeah.
You don't have to be their friend. You don't have to convert them. You don't have to convince them to like you or to accept you. That's what doctor says. Rejection, there's a part of rejection where you want to prove yourself, where you want to say, but I am good enough. Please align and agree with me being good enough. And this is what Dr. Julia says. This is what rejection is about. And I'm going to throw another curveball in. And I'm going to use a female. Okay, I'm not going to use a male. I'm going to say, if a woman's husband or boyfriend has cheated on her, he's had an affair, that woman will say, this man rejected me. I feel rejected. I wasn't good enough. I wasn't sexy enough. I wasn't thin enough. I wasn't a good enough lover. I wasn't enough for this man. Listen to what Dr. Julia says. Rejection is linked to I am not enough. I am not good enough for you to accept me. That is what we think rejection is. And let's go into cheating.
Can I tell you more?
Yes.
When we had triplets with my husband, I was exhausted, breastfeeding, working, it's a difficult work, I will never lie. And actually I remember I did not have attention for him, and I thought, please don't come to me because I'm just not recovered after pregnancy. I need to work, breastfeeding, it's a baby, so I need to, first year it's so important for me to put all energy. That's why my kids are so healthy and good, because first year I work really hard. And actually in my subconscious, as women understand, if I know that he had a lady during that period, I tell perfect, because nothing wrong with me. You see, nothing wrong with me. I did other job. You see, this is the way how I think.
We need to take the pills Dr. Julia is taking. I want the pills you are taking.
I'm just different. Yeah, but you see, it means the problems with him, not with me. How can it be rejected if he did it? Not because I'm bad, I'm good. He did it because he's sick mentally or he needs something else. Sorry about that. Maybe
she's right. I'm sorry, but she's right. So, thank you. I'm telling you all today, if someone cheats on you, they are choosing to cheat.
Yes.
And there's nothing you can really do. If that person has a hole in their heart, or they reject themselves,
Yes.
or they need acceptance from another.
Or sick
and
mentally, yes.
Sick mentally, that's what she means. If that person wants to cheat on you, why are we as women allowing to accept rejection when someone else has chosen to make a different choice?
Yes.
We are taking people's choices personally. We are getting upset with what another person is choosing. And we are taking the fact that if another person chooses something and their choice is not agreeing and aligning to our values,
Yes.
we are seeing that as rejection, and then we take it personally.
And actually, it's different perceptions, different opinions, different ways of living. It's all, we are different, accept it. It's just not your husband, not your man, not your person, not your friend, if you can't accept it. It's all. You don't need to prove. You don't need to feel. You don't need to bend yourself. You don't need to stay on your knees and do something, please. This is what rejection usually is doing. Put us on the knees.
I know.
Yeah, that is why don't do it. Talk, accept it, not accept it, and go. Nothing wrong with us. But people see rejection, very personally. This is a problem. And this
It's
is
very painful.
It's very painful
Very
and it's connected with the self-esteem, self-confidence, and after that, people not successful at job, not successful in second family and everything. That is my other story also. Fix your rejection problems before you have a second marriage, because you will attract the same lessons. Otherwise, sorry, it's a very painful, deep feelings with the different flavors, colors, and everything.
And people, it is okay to be a sensitive person.
Yes.
It's okay to be emotional. It's okay to feel severe pain when you become or feel rejected. All of it, it's okay. All emotions are okay. It's okay to be afraid in today's time. It's okay to have fear. What's not okay is to repress it. What's not okay is not to address it. What is important is to sit with it, to let it come to the surface, and to talk. Talk to someone you trust. Talk to someone who can help you. If you don't know how to deal with it yourself, find the help so that you can stop walking with that deep pain in here and release it.
About talking, it could be also misunderstanding. We had certain conflict. It also could be misunderstanding. From some point of view, you can see this way, person can see. You need to talk. You can't just bottle it and feel like nothing happened, because it will boil you. It will eat you from inside. Please try to talk with people and listen his opinion. Tell your opinion. Don't immediately personally take that I am a piece of something and everything. Talk.
Yes.
Talk with respect and can hear and accept that person think differently, and accept if you love him and it's important person. So I talk is very people not talking now, unfortunately.
Well, I think we are going to talk about this next week. Next week we are going to talk about the gift of vulnerability and how important it is to communicate. We are going to talk, Dr. Julia and I are going to talk about the gift of vulnerability and the gift of communication. Let me tell the viewers something before we end off. All relationships will have conflict. There isn't a perfect life and a perfect relationship. Even Dr. Julia and I have our days where we disagree. But do you know what I have found to be the best relationships in my life was the relationships where I can sit down with that person and be vulnerable enough to talk about my pain and my feelings and my sadness, and for me to feel safe enough to tell the other person my burdens, and they won't throw it back in my face or they won't use it against me. Because that trust and vulnerability and open communication, that is what actually helps you to walk a journey in your relationships in life. So to be able to communicate with myself, to be honest with me about my feelings, to go deep within in my own vulnerability and honestly answer my questions in my mind, that is a gift. The second thing is to have relationships and people in your life where you can talk. My staff, if my staff don't talk to me or can't talk to me and there's no communication, we have conflict in the practice. In my relationships with Marcus, my friendships, the ability to be able to be vulnerable enough to talk to one another, that is where the gift and the healing is. So we're going to talk about that next week. I want to share one tool before we go off. In access bars, I just love access bars. The bars have changed my life. I love the bars. I will say it again. I will say it again. In the bars, they teach us a lot of tools that we can use in our daily life. And as we've already taught all of you, all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. It's one of the best tools ever. The tool I'm going to give the viewers today is to help you to release the need to want to prove yourself to other people. And this tool is called interesting point of view. So when I am hurt by someone, or I have a rejection pain, or I feel that I want to prove myself to someone, or someone has said something to hurt me, in the bars they teach us that in your subconscious, your point of view will create your reality. So if someone says to me, Aldi, you are a bad mother, and immediately I get that pain here and I go, oh, I'm a bad mother, I have to prove myself that I'm not a bad mother. There's a part of me in my subconscious that believes that I'm a bad mother, or who is afraid that a part of me that is a bad mother will be exposed to the surface. So what they teach us in the bars is, when someone says to you, for example, Aldi, you're a bad mother, you go, interesting point of view that I have that point of view. And you say it quietly to yourself all out, up to 10 times. Interesting point of view that I have that point of view. Interesting point of view that I have that point of view. Interesting point of view that I have that point of view. Interesting point of view that I have that point of view. Interesting point of view that I have that point of view. And here by the 6th time, you'll feel the pain starts to dissipate. It releases.
You understand, it's at that point. You actually, yes.
Interesting point of view that I have that point of view. Interesting point of view. So what you are saying to your subconscious is, interesting point of view that what they are saying about me is hurting me. So somewhere in my subconscious, I'm aligning and agreeing to that. And when you start saying that over and over, it will release in your subconscious. And remember, the access bar therapy works in the body, but also in the subconscious. So for the last week, I have been every day, when I would think about the situation where I was rejected, I would go, okay, this is what was said. Interesting point of view that I have that point of view. Interesting point of view that I have that point of view. And I felt it very, very needed to share this today with our viewers. Because not everyone can come and see us. Not everyone has the means to come and see me and Dr. Julia. And that is why we do our Facebook Live. So I invite all the viewers again today to please share our videos on your page. Send the link to your friends or to someone, a colleague or anyone that you know that might be going through an emotional time. Share our videos. They are free. Invite your friends. Invite people to like our Facebook page. We also have a YouTube channel called Korma Derm Wellness Talks, where all our wellness talks are placed on that channel for everybody to watch for free, because the more empowered you are, the easier you can go through your lessons and you can release your pain.
Yes, I think you need to put this phrase on your Facebook page here. Yes, it's very difficult emotion. Just want to tell you, it's not easy. People will come and trigger more and more. And don't be upset with yourself. First, don't be upset with yourself. Carry on, think, oh, okay, he triggered me again. Perfect, I still need to work on it. And
thank you for the gift.
Thank you for that.
Thank you for the gift. Thank you for showing me again that I've not released my rejection completely. Thank you for showing me again that I still feel I have to prove myself to other people. Thank you for showing me again that I have given away my power.
Because if you go to the circle of rejection, anger, self-doubt, self-suppressing, again rejection, it's a terrible circle to go out, because you will never do it, unfortunately. And people always will use you to put you again in that circle. Work on it, be aware, work with yourself, and you will enjoy actually this journey. And one day you will just smile to the people's face when they do it with you and think, yes, I did it. Now I'm just smiling and laughing. Yeah, that's why it's difficult work, but yeah, everybody can do it nicely.
Interesting point of view that I have that point of view. I love you. I'm sorry.
Thank
Please
you,
forgive
forgive
me.
me.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Bagarov. All of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory.
All tools, please use.
Use your tools. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Thank you, doctor.
Thank you.